don't get it. How am I supposed to be a cursed Scottish farmer from the 1800s? I'm only a kid.
Child, you simply use your imagination.
Imagination.
It's obvious, right? One of your main tools for acting is your imagination. But how do you create a character that's believable and interesting, even if you don't have any lines? Well, it's time to get creative and take a survey. Let's say that our character is Tasha Logic from The Logic Pit.
The Logic Pit is a rock musical by yours truly, premiered in 2022 by Twin Cities Theater Camp. Tasha Logic is the ingenious and selfish CEO of a powerful technology company. She treats her employees poorly and strives for success at all costs. My name, Tasha Logic. My age, let's say it's 42. What things do I like? I like money, power, and being important. What am I afraid of? Losing any of the things that I like. And who do I care about most? Myself. Using this very basic survey, I can then start to figure out what my motivations are in each scene.
My motivations in a scene are the things that cause me to act the way that I do in order to reach a goal. My goals might change, but I always need to know what they are. Let's take a scene where Tasha Logic is trying to convince her lawyer to do something illegal.
I should ask myself, what is my goal in this moment? It's to convince my lawyer to help me do something even though it's against her best interest. And how would I do that? Because I like money, power, and being important, and I only care about myself, I don't really care if my lawyer's uncomfortable. I'll probably try to intimidate them. And what does that look and sound like? Well, I might get really close to the other character. I might shout at them, or I might talk really quietly in an intense way.
The survey and those few guiding questions give us a good window into how Tasha Logic would respond to this situation. But what if your character isn't a principal and you don't have any lines? Well, you can still ask yourself the same questions. And if the answers aren't provided in the script, then you make them up.
This time I'm playing Tasha Logic's secretary. The character is made up by my director and has no lines. And so what's my name going to be? I get to make it up. I'll be Teddy Yodeler. How old am I? Let's say 25. This is my first office job and I'm fresh out of college. What things do I like? Well, I collect marbles, I like making and holding coffee drinks, but I don't actually drink them, and playing gin rummy with my best friend Rudy Bluesday, who is not in this play. What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of Tasha Logic. And who do I care about most? My little sister, Edna. Edna Yodeler.
See? It's pretty fun when your character isn't actually named in the play.
Okay, Teddy is in the scene where Tasha is pressuring her lawyer, but he doesn't have any lines. What is my goal? Because I'm afraid of Tasha Logic, I'm trying not to be seen. And how do I do that? I keep my head low behind my computer. And what does that look like? Probably constantly glancing up, but overall trying to be invisible, but making that obvious for the audience.
Teddy's character survey informed how he acts during the scene. You could just as easily imagine that instead of hiding from Tasha Logic, he's the kind of person who wants to impress people in power. So he nods along and agrees with everything Tasha's saying as she bullies her poor lawyer. Your character's personality and motivations will inform what you do during a scene, even if you're not the main focus. Maybe you're not the focus of the scene. Maybe people shouldn't really notice you at all. And that happens sometimes. Maybe you're in a classic cafe scene and you're upstage of the action having a conversation with your partner. All of the same rules still apply. You have to decide who you are, what you're talking about, and what kind of life you live in the world of the play. All the decisions about the world of the play and how they're affected by things like location, time period, and overall context are something we call dramaturgy. If your play takes place in a very specific time and location, like let's say 1800s agrarian Scotland, and something weird happened, like you were cursed by a local minister, you might have to do a little bit of research to find context for your character. You're probably not into things like video games. You're probably more into dancing and that hoop and stick thing. No matter who your character is, take time to think about them. And in every situation on stage, ask yourself, how would my character act and how would my character react? Thanks again. I'm Tim Kraack, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.